African Americans built this nation. We built this nation. You know, you're just starting to get real credit for that. Okay, I don't know if you know that. You're just starting to get, you built the nation. We all built it, but you were such a massive part of it. Bigger than you were given credit for. Does that make sense? Right? But through generations of blood, sweat, and tears, and you deserve a government that defends your interests, protects your families, and cares for our own citizens first. My administration is fighting with everyone and all our heart to reverse the pain inflicted by Democrat leaders and to deliver hope and opportunity and prosperity for all Americans, but for African American communities all throughout our land.
Hey, welcome back to BrainFLoTv again, everybody. It's your host with the most. Our other channel, which is called SoFloTV on YouTube, recently passed 200,000 subscribers. So thanks to all the people who are subscribed over there. And if you're not subscribed over there, go support that channel as well. We hope to one day hit 1 million subscribers, but of course we're a ways off, even though 200,000 is a big accomplishment. Anyways, what we are going to talk about here today is this statement that Donald Trump recently made. Could you imagine a United States of America president, white president at that, actually admitting that black people built this nation? Now, we're not surprised that this information is out there. We've already always known that this information to be true, right? On the backs of our ancestors is how this nation was built. Free and forced labor. And by keeping the offsprings of these same people in servitude for many more generations after is how they have managed to amass a whole lot of wealth. That's just history, if you know history. But to have a president actually say it, it was amazing to see. It was amazing to see. Now, I got a lot to say about this. But first, let me say something. So, I'm taking this from Politico.com, and you can go there and read the entire article, because I'm not going to read the entire article. I'm just going to read a little bit from the article. So, President Donald Trump, he held what amounted to a mini rally with nearly 300 young black supporters inside the White House on Friday, replete with campaign-style chants of USA, 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 and get this, 4 more years, 4 more years, 4 more years. It is at this point in my delivery that I think it's important that I say, us at BrainFLoTv, we are neither Democratic or Republican. We choose to not be affiliated with either. And the reason is quite simple. They both play for the same master, if you know what I mean. So at the end of the day, it's politics, 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 and the people are the pawns. Okay? Now back to this whole charade and fiasco. Listen. So here he is. And this thing turned into a mini rally. 300 young black supporters piled inside the White House. Could you imagine getting that invitation? Hey, President Trump is inviting us to the White House. And someone gave them the, hey, when you go there, be on your best behavior. Don't ask anything out of line that will embarrass us, and make sure that we're going to lead the chant USA, because you want to be very patriotic, and it's going to be on camera, possibly on television. And then you're going to chant 4 more years, 4 more years. Okay. So when he came on stage, President Trump said to them, he said, wow, you broke the sound barrier. All extra. You know how Trump is. He is very extra. You broke the sound barrier. This is what he told the audience of African American students and young professionals who greeted him with chants and cheers inside the White House's East Room. He said, I've never heard it quite like that, and I appreciate it. We love you. Who is we? I guess he's talking about the Republican Party. Sorry. He is talking about the Republican Party, and he's trying to let them know that they are loved by the Republican Party. With an eye on the 2020 election, the president delivered his pitch to black voters and aired his grievances in true Trumpian fashion. So he took the time throughout the speech to talk about all the things that he wants to see better. And we're trying to move the nation forward and make America great again, like our slogan said, and keep America great. But the Democrats are fighting against this tooth and nail, and they're just dragging the country down and making everybody suffer. Even you, more so you than anybody else, is some of the things that he said. You know, you're just starting to get, at one point, Trump also credited African Americans for building the country. Now, this is the part that I come in. So he goes into this thing where he says, in reference to their roles, their ancestors' roles as slaves, and us now just getting some kind of, what should you call it? Some kind of payback. You know, you're just starting to get real credit for that, okay? Trump said, I don't know if you know that. You're just starting to get. You built the nation. We all built it, but you were such a massive part of it. Bigger than you were given credit for. Does that make sense? You know? And he said, does that make sense? As if he was telling us some kind of trigonometry math problem, and we were at a algebra 1 level. You know, it was something to see. It was something to see, but in hindsight, when I look at this, I will say this. The only reason that President Trump would ever get up, and this is called, he is in a desperate place right now, because yes, he has what is called a silent majority, and the Trump base, those elderly white Americans, they outnumber the black population on a whole. Matter of fact, it was said that if every single black person in the United States of America, to include babies who aren't eligible or old enough to vote, convicts who have been striked from voting, if every single black person voted for a black president, we would still not be enough in numbers to bring that president to office. So even if there was a black president, the black president needed to be voted in but with a whole lot of white votes. However, in this situation that Trump's sitting in with the impeachment, I know he's not going to be impeached. I've said it before, but it does leave a bad mark, right? And people are looking at him funny and pulling away from his party. And that's not how he wants it to be in this time of election. So you want to make sure, 100% sure that, hey, I got this in the bag. We've got this. And in order to do so, they are reaching and they are overreaching. And when you see a white man come in front of black people and tell them that you built this nation, you know that they need something from you, right? And he's speaking to young professionals and entrepreneurs, nearly 300 young black supporters, as it was called. Now, I don't really think they were all supporters. I think they were gathered up in the room, but the media has listed them as supporters. And the bigger picture is to show everybody on the outside that, because, you know, the Democratic Party seems to, I'm not saying they're either wrong or right, I'm saying they seems to be the more hip and happening party, catering to what's in fashion. And the younger generation dictates fashion and drives fashion, which also drives politics, music, entertainment, pop culture, if you will, right? Now, when you think pop culture, if you should think of a political party, the first one that pops to mind would be the Democratic Party. However, Trump is making it known that we're hip too. We're happening too. in the Republican Party. You know what I'm saying? So they had to paint the face of the Republican Party in this election to be a hip, happening, fly party. And what better way to do it than to start out by saying, here's a room full, 300 young black supporters who are yelling USA, 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 and 4 more years. Point blank period. I want my 40 acres and a mule. If the president just decided to come out and say that, hey, you know, you guys built this, that's admittance, and we weren't given enough credit, that's cool. I got that. I want my 40 acres and a mule, and I want all my reparations up front. I think it's very interesting that there was an elder lady around, and she said, all we want is what was rightfully ours already. Leave us be. Allow us to develop in peace. And someone asked her, so what do you mean by this? Leave us be, allow us to develop in peace. And she said, well, there was a time gone by that we had our own banks. We had our own schools. We had our own hospital. We had our own institutions, and we were independent, right? And we were firebombed and burnt to the ground and terrorized and forced to scatter. Now, that's a reality. So one of the realest things that anyone has ever said is, well, in order to truly be an independent people, you have to have all these things. You have to have your own doctors, your own medical labs and development of medicine that caters to a set of people genetically. You can't say, oh, they're the oppressors, but then you send your children to their school to be educated by them. Oh, they're holding us back, but then every time you get sick, you run to them as your doctors and trust them with your life that they won't misdiagnose you and poison you to death. Where's our food supplies? So on and so forth. So, end of the day, good that Donald Trump came out and actually said that, but let's be for real. I think personally that he did that only because he's in a position he's in right now, and it's election time. I'm not going to talk any further. I'm just going to ask you to leave your comments in the comment section below and tell me what you think about his statement, what he meant by it. Do you believe that he is genuine towards black people, or is this just a political move? It's BrainFLoTv over here on BrainFLoTv. All right, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next video, man. Stay woke. I'm out. Peace.